to reposition this pillow. I've got the heating mat on my pillow to heat up the back of my head. I'm just figuring out how to move. So So can't see myself unless I hold the camera. I'll hold the camera. There. It doesn't want me to hold the camera. Okay, so gonna make a phone call today. That's the only thing we'll be able to do today, is make a phone call today to let my oncologist know that I've had some kind of brain insult 12 days ago, so 2 weeks ago, and the reason why it went unreported for so long is very typical. Whenever I get a brain insult, and I've had a few now, I become periodically mute. I struggle to stay in reality. I stare off a lot, what appears to be staring off a lot into the distance, but I'm not. I'm actually staring inside my head. I'm hyper-vigilant inside my head because I've been through some kind of insult on my brain. So this gets mistaken as me dismissing someone and not paying attention and rolling my eyes and being kind of hurtful to the other person. That's what they misinterpret me as, but I'm not. I'm trapped in my head. So I get these insults frequently. And sometimes they build up and my brain just blows. And then I struggle like this for about 6 weeks. It takes me 6 weeks to recover from this kind of event. And I know what it is now. I know what it is. And I know how I have managed to work my way through them. And I'm documenting this process to help other people understand. If I'm showing this video to my doctor, if people are going through this and they find my video and they use my words, this is what it's like to work your way out of a major brain insult. And I don't have a diagnosis. I've fallen through the cracks because when I'm trapped in my head, I can't ask for help. There's no words, and I'm neglected. And it hurts so much. I'm staring at the pain in my head. It's on the right side of my head, quite deep. That's where it's hurting. I'm looking at it. If I move my eyes towards the left, they can't move around because there is a swelling, something on this side of my head. There's a swelling, and it affects the speech center here, and that's why I can't ask for help, because when the speech center shuts down, I can't talk and I can't tell anyone what's wrong. Hi, Pistol. Hang on. It's very hard for me to do this, but I'm forcing myself to do it, to document what's happened, so that I have a physical record in the moment, because no one believes me, and that's why I'm so ill. I'm used to being unheard, dismissed, ignored, and gaslit, and told that nothing's wrong with me. Didn't have a stroke, didn't have an aneurysm, my brain is okay, and yet I suffer through this. This isn't normal, but it's my normal. So I'm working my way through this brain insult by relieving the swelling on my brain. I have an unusual ability to feel what's going on in my brain, and that feeling, that is a sensation. It's a real sensation. There's multiple modes of sensation in my head. I can feel tension through different tissues. I can feel pressure through different tissues. And depending on the focus of that tension or pressure, I know whether it's tension on the vascular system or pressure on my gyri in my brain that's stopping it from mirroring across a synapse. And I can also feel the tension from synapses that are not being mirrored. Oh God, this isn't going to make sense to anyone until I illustrate it, and I have to illustrate it. I was making a sculpture of a brain, and now I know I have to finish it, because if I finish the sculpture on the brain, I'll be able to demonstrate where in the brain I'm suffering with my mental health issues and what's causing them, in order to get the help I need. Because so far I'm unblocking my brain myself. I'm helping myself after a major insult on the brain, which has caused swelling and inflammation on the brain, and it's a nightmare to get through. I'm completely dysfunctional for 6 weeks, but I'm gonna try and speed up the process of getting it out my head, to literally getting the snot and the junk out of my head so that I can think again. And that's what brain inflammation is. And it really, I've managed to come this far where I'm actually cognizant and able to talk it through, to record it. That wasn't the case last time. I've been through this enough times now to know what's happening and fight my way through being able to talk about it. While I'm in the process of getting the snot and the inflammation out of my head. It's a physical process that I do. So you see the heat pad is here. It's actually jammed between here, and it's putting pressure so that I can warm up the occipital drainage of the brain and here in the neck. So, you know, like when you have a balloon and you put tension on the neck and you can make it sing. Hi, Tony. So what I was explaining was, when the balloon is full of pressure and you let a little fart out through tensioning the neck, this is what I'm doing here. So imagine my brain is swollen like a balloon, and now I'm grabbing the neck and I'm putting heated tension, and that's allowing my brain to fart. It's allowing my brain to fart. So I'm relieving the pressure by draining on the left side where I have the swelling. This is the swelling around here, and this is blocking my speech. Right here, the swelling on this side. This is my left side. I don't know if it's mirrored on YouTube, but my left side gets blocked up, and then my speech can't come out. So that's the workaround I have to overcoming mutism. And I can feel it. I can feel like a ball of snot like that big come out from behind my ear, and it's kind of going into my lymphatic system. So usually after I've been milking my brain, literally milking my brain of all the inflammation using this technique, I can talk. I'm now unblocked, and I can actually start to work on healing myself and doing the body movements on the floor to wake up my brain. And I will get a reaction. The inflammation is coming out, and it will come out my sinuses. I'll have like what I think is an allergy attack, but it's not. It's the inflammation is being squeezed out of my brain, and it irritates the sinuses, and it actually will come through the sinuses. It will actually come through like deep in my head, and there will be a burst of smell just before it comes out. I'm getting it now, of like salty soap solution, which I guess is a little punch of smell from my brain of this stuff coming out. It's coming out now. You can hear my sinuses clogging up. So I'm squeezing here, and I'm applying tension on this balloon neck, this inflated balloon, and you're stretching the neck so it goes, and you know, like it makes this whine. And that's what I'm doing now. And I can literally feel the inflammation move out of my brain. This is how I'm milking my brain. Treat this as a cow's udder, and I'm kind of just like pulling it, and I'm wedging it against the occipital line. The occipital line is the line, the horizontal line at the base of your skull. And if you feel it quite hard, be really kind of vigorous with it. You feel how clogged up that is in a normal person. Everyone gets it. The older you get, the harder it gets. So you have to clean it. And if I clean it, it relieves the pressure, the buildup, the inflammation on the left side of my brain. So you'll notice that my face is swollen on this side from the inflammation on my brain. See? So I've been milking the inflammation out of my brain through my jaw here, doing like meridian massage, meridian combing. So that helps. You'll see that there is a kind of tension drawing my face this way. That's the facial nerves. They're under a lot of tension from the pain, and they're sucking themselves into a fetal position, so my eye feels like it's being pulled into my ear. That's the pain that I feel right there, deep, just behind the eyes in the temple in here. You see? So all of that pain is a signal. It's a tension in the nerve fibers, and the nerve fibers are like fireworks. They're shaped like fireworks, and they go into that bit, and because there's energy and they're synapsing, they pull in, and everything on that side of the face gets kind of sucked in towards it. So these are the visual signs that someone is in mental pain. This kind of dipping to the right, this inability to look up above horizontal. Your eyes go dead. Your eyes go dead. And the light coming in is mostly from above, and it hurts, so your eyes dip down away from it intentionally, but they dip towards the right because your face is being sucked in just behind the ear. and the pain is causing this reaction in the face. So I need to see a neurologist, and I'm recording this so that they can see my words and they can see the symptoms while I'm going through it. There are a few other symptoms as well that I'll go into and why they're happening. So I talk about dissociating. And I'm not really dissociated. I am dissociated from the world because I'm distracted. I'm distracted because there's so much going on inside that I'm in emergency battle mode in my brain, and I'm guiding it. I'm looking at it and I'm feeling around and I'm guiding it. Another thing you'll notice if someone's in a lot of mental pain, this expression, this strange, the lips going in and the bottom, that is because you see the tension. The lips are going, the pain is so severe, the tension draws these facial muscles in. My tongue curls in. This tongue tie gets tight. I feel something here, like, oh my goodness me. Yep, I got it. So I use my tongue to put pressure on my teeth going this way, put pressure into my jaw this way. And I'm able to open a eustachian tube or something, I think, and it drains the pressure out of my ear. And I felt some fluid leak in, like, both ways. The fluid leaked into my ear and down into my throat. I don't even know what that's called. I don't know medically what that's called, but that's another symptom of mental pain, is this facial expression of the tongue drawing up and pushing into the back of the jaw, into the teeth. You're not gritting your teeth because that doesn't relieve it. You see me jut my jaw forward. That's relieving the mental pain, right? So when someone can't talk and they're making these weird facial movements, there's something wrong. It's because they're in mental pain, and these facial movements relieve it because they open up certain drainage pathways in the skull and enable the pressure on the brain to drain through the jaw, through the back of the head, and through the ear. Like, yeah, here. Oh, I felt it go again. So I'm using my tongue and I'm pushing it into my jaw, and this time I pushed my finger in it and this bunch of fluid just drained. Wow. I felt the relief. Oh my god, I thought I had toothache. So I've been through this so many times. I intuitively know what to do, and I wanted to explain this live while this is happening so that I have evidence of what I go through in silence, because when this is happening, you can't talk. And I've managed to talk my way through it because I focused on draining this side so that I could talk, because this is where the speech is produced. You can see I'm more swollen on this side. And this side, I got such pain relief on my brain just now from doing that thing with my jaw that my eye has stopped being pulled. I don't know if you can see it, but compared to earlier, my eye was being pulled in, and now it's not. Tony says, if I can get in the pool, I need to get in the pool because that's my happy place. Yeah, I can't at the moment. I can't get out of the house. I'm housebound while I'm going through this. But as soon as I can, I will. I wanted to record what I was going through so that I have something to show to a neurologist. And these facial expressions are interesting because they're familiar to me, but I didn't know that I was doing them so much. And now I know, and I'm like, oh, that's why. Because when I was trapped in my head, I was intuitively relieving the pain. And I'm starting to snot up now because the brain inflammation is coming out through my sinuses and stuff. And when you go through one of these episodes and the initial insult that happens to your brain is a bang or a raging tsunami of fire, by the time you recognize that you need it and they do a scan, 6 weeks have gone by. So you're going to suffer like this for 6 weeks before you deserve any attention. And that trains you into thinking, no point saying anything, even if I try, there's no point, because I need the help at the time it happens. However, even that's too late, because once it's happened, you want to stop it from happening, right? And there were warning signs. There were warning signs. And these are the warning signs, these strange expressions, because this didn't happen out of the blue. This built up, and then it snapped. And then I have 10 times the work to recover from this. See, it's swollen on this side, and my sinus is starting to block up now because it's draining. It's swollen here next to my eye. There's a bit of fluid coming out there. It's pooling. Oh, there it goes. So this time when it happened, I worked hard to talk and say this was a major incident, major insult on my brain. I really need help. Managed to say it. And I still can't get the help I need. So I'm being heard now, but the system can't help me. So this is why I work through it as quickly as I can on my own. And I'll get there. I'm not scared. I'm not gonna die, but it's like I wish it didn't happen. So I'm building better boundaries by identifying pain in my brain quicker. And trying to educate others. Like, ouch. Hurts so much. This isn't like a... I guess people would call this a migraine, but I'm not feeling it as a migraine, because even if you call it a migraine, they're gonna drug you up and pacify you. And I don't want to be drugged up and pacified. I'm using the pain. I don't call this as suffering. I'm just working through it, and I know what to do, and I'm recovering from it. And it's kind of necessary to go with the pain, so why numb it? Because the pain, if I go with it and I follow the pattern, I can find this is unblocked. See where I'm pressing? I'm stretching out that pain area right now. Remember I said it's all being pulled in towards my ear? Well, I'm just kind of lifting this side up. Oh my god, that feels so good. That feels so good. So this is intuition. This is like when I get a sense of where the tension is being pulled into my head. And it's on this side, and I've got this whole fascia of tension that I am slowly relieving and peeling away. Woo! That feels so good. There we go. So there is a lot of pain in my brain that's being relieved from this. What the hell? I hope this helps someone. Maybe you can do this for migraines. So on the right hand side of your brain, starting near your temple with your palm, just stretch that out and see if it helps with your migraine. Maybe this is a migraine, maybe this is what I'm going through. But you see, I wouldn't have figured that out if I was on painkillers. I want my brain to be actively going through it so that I can pull the tension out. The pain is my guide. It's like a target. If I can hone in on that target, and stretch it out and deplaque it. This is deplaquing, by the way. I actually felt like the fascia tissue is like your bed sheets, and imagine they're full of poo. And you're trying to flap your bed sheets, but they're full of poo. Well, this is what I'm doing. Like, you've got bed sheets around your face, and they're full of waste metabolites, or poo. And I'm just pooing it out up my temples. There we go. Woo. That felt good. There. Wow. My face is straightened out a bit. You remember in the beginning it was kind of all drawn in like this and looking down. Now I've got the diagonal strength. I can go that way and I can feel the pain when I look that way. The opposite sides, it hurts in my brain. Like I can feel like, but I've got the strength now to look that way, just to dart my eyes up fast. Dart it fast. I feel it there. But it's more of a spot now rather than like a whole area. It's sort of shrunk down now to the size of a pea, I guess. Ah, that's such a relief. So I'm wiggling the temple, I guess. I'm jiggling it because that's kind of actively pumping the lymph out of my brain, because there's something stuck there, and that's what was causing the pain, like a hardened kind of thing. Not that anyone's gonna believe me, but anyway, this is what I feel, you know? I'm that sensitive to what's going on in my brain. Like, if there was a 3D hologram of my brain, I would show you where I was feeling this and what it was causing my behavior to do. That I could show someone that. And that's why I'm making the sculpture of the brain, to try and do that, you know? Getting there. Yes. Another problem when you're going through one of these mental insults is that turning your head can become difficult, and even if you do manage to turn your head, it feels kind of crackly. Like, it feels like there's a lot of crystals in there. Somewhere in your, not in your neck, but actually in your skull. Like stuck at the base of your skull. And that causes memory loss. So you actually can't remember what you're doing in the middle of doing it. Like, I think they call that short-term memory loss, but it's bad. So yeah, that's what I do when I've been through one of these insults. I take care of myself like this with the heat pad and stretching out the neck, doing deep fascia release, and like jaw exercises, tongue exercises. And so that's why another reason, if someone's in a lot of mental pain, they'll constantly walk around the house ticking and talking like this. And I'm always popping and ticking, and the more the mental pain increases, the more often you do it, because you're just kind of popping like a sonar. You're popping like a sonar to feel, to give yourself some pain relief. It doesn't make any sense. How would that give you pain relief? Well, the tension you put into these nerves to make that pop, it builds up and it snaps back a little piezoelectric shock into the brain, which is equal to the kinetic energy that you discharged as sonic energy. So the amplitude, the volume of the sound, is the amount of energy you have snapped back as a piezoelectric force through your facial nerves into the source of pain in your brain. So that ticking is actually a source of pain relief. There. So the reason I'm documenting this is because I want people to know, if they're having these symptoms, they're in mental pain and they can't articulate it. And maybe my words can be used for you. So if you have a loved one that has these weird facial things and these tics, talk to them. Don't ask them how they're feeling. Ask them what they sense in their head, what they sense is wrong. Because this can't be described in words that you understand. But if we talk about what we're sensing that's inside our heads, I'm sensing this pain in the back of my head. You can't sense whether it's in the back of your head or, they dismiss you, So I'm being more articulate about it. I'm being more high resolution about it, because it's not just a pain in the back of your head. It's caused by something else. It's caused by mental pain, which starts here on the right side, and then it kind of gets scarred up. And that fluffing, that scarring, blocks up drainage pathways of the brain, and then waste poo of the brain, waste metabolites, don't come out, so they cause a brain swelling, and then you can't speak. So I'm getting rid of the brain swelling, and I have to do this to relieve the brain swelling enough to talk, because if I don't do it, I can't talk and I can't move. So that's the first thing I do every day. And then because you're up and standing, the brain inflammation can drain somewhat, but you have to do dance to move it through the brain, because otherwise it just stays there like snot. It just doesn't, it's very difficult to move. It's very viscous. So you have to create a gyri of tension. You have to make the sausages in your brain move. And to do that, you put electrical power through them. You put bioelectrical power through the gyri, and each gyri is represented by a different movement. and a different tension in your body. So if you go through the movements and you dance, you can ripple the sausagey action in your brain to squeeze out and poo out the toxic brain injury. And that's what I do to pump my brain. So I'm going to go now. I just wanted to get that on video. And I will be better later in the day to work on myself. I don't think I'll stream again today. I've got a lot of... I don't want to get dressed, so I won't be streaming today.